Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. NFL Analyst rips new Steelers QB Justin Fields, he's been dead weight. Lot of NFL analysts were impressed that the Pittsburgh Steelers acquired quarterback Justin Fields for only a conditional 6th-round pick. But don't count FS1 analyst Emmanuel Acho among them. Acho put Fields on blast while talking about the potential quarterback competition he will have with fellow new Steelers quarterback Russell Wilson. Justin Fields, he's been dead weight. Russ has never in Seattle been dead weight, Acho argued on FS1 Speak, via Steelers Now's Chris Ward. Remember those Seahawks teams were 7-9 before he got there. He got there and they instantly won 11, then instantly won 13 and went to the Super Bowl. There are 3 categories: game changes, game managers and game losers. Russell Wilson might not be a game changer, but he's never been a game loser. Put him in the game manager category. Someone could very convincingly make a case for Justin Fields to be in the game loser category. To Acho's point, Fields has gone 10-28 as an NFL starter in his career. Of those losses, 20 of them came in his first 2 seasons, 2021-22. Win-loss record for quarterbacks can sometimes be an overrated statistic. But if one places a lot of value in that metric, there's no denying that Fields falls short. He didn't win more than 5 games in any of his 3 seasons with the Chicago Bears. Over his first 2 seasons, he went 5-20 as a starter. The good news for the Steelers is Fields starting winning a little bit more with the Bears last season. He went 5-8 in 13 starts last season, including 4-2 in his final 6 games. How much did Fields is to blame for his .263 win percentage in Chicago is also a relevant question to ask. The Bears haven't won more than 8 games in a season since 2018. Meanwhile, the Steelers haven't won fewer than 8 games since 2003. Last season, they won 10 contests despite starting quarterbacks considered to be far less talented than Fields. The Bears haven't posted a winning record with other quarterbacks besides Fields since the beginning of 2021 either. But supporting Acho's point, the Bears haven't lost as much with other signal callers either. Without Fields, the Bears are 6-7 over the past 3 seasons. Analysts who do love Fields after a disappointing tenure in Chicago are ones who still believe in his potential. Despite his win-loss record, Fields has one of the best highlight reels since he entered the league. In 2022, he led the NFL with a 7.1 yards per carry average on his way to 1,143 rushing yards and 8 touchdowns on the ground. In his career, Fields has averaged 6.2 yards per rush and scored 14 rushing touchdowns. His completion percentage has improved, and his interception rate has dropped every season as well. The problem is Fields has still produced a lot of negatives plays in his career. He's taken 135 sacks in 40 NFL games. He's also thrown 30 interceptions and fumbled 38 times. Fields' playmaking ability is special, but to win more games, he will have to cut down on his interceptions, fumbles, and sacks. It doesn't sound like Acho is confident Fields will be able to do that with the Steelers. Shawn Payton throws shade at new Steelers QB Russell Wilson with one word. The Pittsburgh Steelers have gotten a lot done in the month of March. It started with them signing Russell Wilson to try and fix their quarterback problem from last season. That move was only possible because of a decision the Denver Broncos made. The organization decided to let Wilson go after benching him at the end of the 2023 season. It turns out that decision wasn't particularly tough for the Broncos. At the 2024 NFL owners meeting, Sean Payton was asked if cutting Wilson was a difficult decision, and without hesitation, he answered, via Bob Pompiani, no hopes were high in Denver after the Broncos traded a haul to bring Wilson in following years of bad quarterback play. He was expected to turn the franchise back into a contender. Unfortunately, it didn't quite work out that way. The first year with Wilson was a disaster. His numbers were disappointing, with a completion percentage of 60.5% and only 5 more touchdowns thrown than interceptions. The team finished the year with a 5-12 record, and their head coach was fired before the end of his first season with the team. Things got better in year 2. Wilson's completion percentage was way up and he threw 26 touchdowns. The team got better too. They won 8 games and were in the playoff hunt late in the year. However, the Broncos still hadn't reached the level they expected and they ended up benching Wilson for the last 2 games of the year. That seemed to signal the end of his time with the team and they eventually made it official early in March. To release Wilson, the Broncos had to eat $85 million in dead cap. That worked out pretty well for the Steelers. As a result of the dead cap, Wilson didn't stand to make any more money in 2024 based on his contract with his next team. Any money that team pays is just less the Broncos owe him. That led to him accepting the league minimum for his 1-year contract with the Steelers. That gave the Steelers the freedom to pursue other free agent talent to give Wilson a team he can win with and also allowed them to bring in Justin Fields as they weren't already heavily invested in the position. Now they have a 9-time Pro Bowl QB under center at almost no cost, all thanks to the decision that the Broncos apparently didn't have a tough time making. Things obviously didn't work out with Wilson in Denver, and it seems he wasn't the quarterback that Payton wanted, but that doesn't mean it should have been an easy decision to make. It obviously starts with the money. The Broncos now owe a lot of money to a quarterback that is going to play somewhere else for the next 2 seasons, and have had to eat a historic dead cap hit. However, that's far from the only reason why there should have been some difficulty in letting Wilson go. The bigger reason should be that the team left themselves with absolutely no clear path forward at the position. The best QB on their roster right now is Jarrett Stidham. If he is their starting QB in 2024, they aren't going to be winning many games. He certainly isn't their future at the position. With the 12th pick in this year's draft, they also aren't in a great position to find their future starter. They could try to trade up, but this is a franchise that hasn't picked in the first round since 2021. The Broncos aren't exactly loaded with young talent right now. Are they really in a position to give away more draft capital to get a QB? They'd be leaving themselves without future picks to build around that QB, and Wilson's dead cap hit staying on their books for the next 2 seasons is going to make it tough for them to bring in quality free agents. This is also a team that allowed the league's 6th most sacks in 2023 and then lost their starting center, leaving them with offensive line issues to address. If the team trades up to draft a QB, that quarterback won't be in a position to succeed early in their career. Wilson and the Broncos clearly weren't a match made in heaven, but with no clear answer for what's next and a hefty cap hit, it shouldn't have been an easy decision. Report: Steelers to hold private workout with former Gannon QB, Kory Curtis. The Pittsburgh Steelers have completely overhauled their quarterback room over the last month. Out with Kenny Pickett, Mason Rudolph, and Mitch Trubisky, and in with Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, and Kyle Allen. For the most part, they haven't shown a ton of interest in this draft's crop of quarterback talent, but according to ML Football on X, they have a private workout scheduled with former Ohio State and Gannon QB Kory Curtis next Monday. Curtis was a prospect in last year's draft class, but went undrafted. Curtis has a special arm, which has caught the attention of many teams. The Steelers are reportedly having QB Michael Penix Jr. in for a pre-draft visit in this year's draft class and have shown some interest in South Alabama QB Carter Bradley throughout the pre-draft process. The team typically brings 4 quarterbacks into training camp, and currently has 3 on the roster, so the Steelers could be looking to draft one in the later rounds or sign one as a priority free agent after the draft. Alternatively, they could go with a free agent like Curtis to round out their training camp roster. Mike Butler from the Steelers reached out to me and he said, "We're looking forward to seeing you throw, we kinda wanna see you more." And I was like, "I can't get into a pro day." He said, "Have you tried Duquesne?" I was like, "Yes sir, I have." He said, "Let me talk to somebody." The interest has been there dating back to last year, and they are now circling back for a workout. Curtis played in 22 career games for Gannon after transferring in 2021. He finished his career with 5,134 passing yards, 47 touchdowns, and 11 interceptions while completing 370 of his 652 passes. He was initially a walk-on at Ohio State before transferring to Bryant for a season prior to landing at Gannon. And you, fan, what do you think of the situation of Kory Curtis? Leave your opinion in the comments.